Joining me via Skype is a woman who battled kidney failure, diabetes, tuberculosis, and immune system failure. She joins us all the way from Nigeria to talk about her journey to finding healing and hope, little by little. Welcome, Mrs. Fadeke Adepetun. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Very well, thank you, everyone. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us. I've got your book in my hand, Little by Little, an account of God's healing power. It seems an incredible story to read from the birth of your first child and how things seem to go from bad to worse. Tell us a bit about your journey.
Well, as you said, it's been quite a long journey, which started shortly after I had my fourth child by cesarean section. Of course, at the time, we didn't know that was about 25 years ago. But along the line, I had to go to the UK for treatment because everything just broke down. I could hardly move my muscles. And then I was diagnosed with SLE, which is systemic lupus. And the doctors told me then that my body soldiers were attacking the good organs of my body, thinking they were foreign bodies. So initially it started by attacking my muscles. I could hardly walk. I couldn't lift up my hands. Along the line, it attacked my lungs. I had tuberculosis because I was placed on steroids and my immune system got very low. I had tuberculosis. I had osteoporosis because I've been on steroids for over 20 years at the time.
Now, usually when we hear testimonies of God's healing, it's I was sick and then someone prayed for me and it happened instantaneously. But your book talks about a process of being healed, doesn't it?
Indeed. Yes, God does. We have an example in the Bible of the case of Naaman. He didn't get cleansed until the seventh attempt into the water. So when you go through such challenges, God can either heal you instantaneously or He gives you the grace, the strength, and the ability to go through it. But one thing is certain, you will surely He'll be there with you and you'll come out of it well on the other side. So my case was a gradual case of healing, not an instantaneous one, but nonetheless still a miraculous healing.
There is a point in the book, you narrate a story where one of the leaders of the church you go to had seen you, was really troubled by the sight of you, takes you to the general overseer's office. He's not there, and somebody else prays for you. And I wonder if you could just tell us about that and how that plays out in your journey of faith, because there's someone who's watching, who's feeling the burden of a condition they're struggling with. Tell us about your story.
Yes, I had done a scan, and I was told that one of my kidneys had failed, and the other was on its way out. So I went for an annual convention, and I went to see the Reverend Pastor Adeboye. Unfortunately, he was not in his office at the time, but there was somebody else there who had come in from the States, and he laid hands on me and prayed for me. The 2 days after that, I went abroad. I went for a test, and I took the scan I had from Nigeria. The doctor looked at the scan, the picture I brought. He looked at the one that he had just done, and he told me that indeed the picture I brought from Nigeria showed a failed kidney, but what he's seeing right now were perfect kidneys. And this was in a space of 2 days. I had not taken any medication. The only thing was to pray for me. That's all that happened.
Now, as we begin to wrap up, I know there's a lot that you explore in this book, which is quite easy to read. But for someone who is in a journey of achieving the state of perfect healing, how much faith does it take to stay with it? Because you're constantly looking and you can still see the situation which seems not to have changed, yet you're believing God to be, quote unquote, normal.
Well, the thing that you don't need much faith. All you need to do, which is also what the Bible says, is believe. Once you believe that God can do it, He will do it. Because when there's a man to pray, there's a God to answer. That's just it. Just believe yourself that God will do it when you're even facing, looking at the challenges in front of you. So it's not the amount of faith you have, but the trust you have in God that is very important. That is the key thing.
Now, how many years did it take you to come out of that season in your life, and where are you at the moment in your health?
Well, I am still on the steroids. It's been a journey of 25 years. At the last, it's a disease, the doctors have said it is no cause, no cure. Well, at the last test I did just this February, the doctor wrote in my file that there's no activity of lupus in her body as far as blood tests can determine.
Wow.
So that is what my testimony has been. I have had the side effects of the steroids are there, but I mean, it's my case. My doctor said that one of the cases, my case is a case of it's a miracle in short. Like they've also said that it's a miracle.
Well, I would encourage anyone listening and watching to explore the book, because you tell some stories of intervention by God through what we can only call angels in your journey as well. Mrs. Adepetun, author of Little by Little, an account of God's healing power. Thank you so much for joining us on Turning Point.
Thank you very much, Mira, and for the opportunity to share my testimony with you and many others. God bless you.